Evening to all of you. Good evening to all of you. Everyone, please confirm, beta. Am I audible? Am I visible clearly to all of you? Everyone, please confirm. Am I audible? Am I visible clearly to all of you? Good evening, Dadan. Good evening. Good evening, Pooja. Everyone, please confirm, beta. Am I audible? Am I visible clearly to all of you? Audio video is clear to everyone. Very good. How are you all? Good evening, Ria. Good evening. How are you all? How are you all? So I hope you all are good and preparing well for your exam. You are continuously revising your concepts. You are practicing the question. So till the last class, we have completed our discussion related to the chain surveying. So in linear measurement, we have discussed about the scales and we have also discussed about the chain surveying. So I hope you all have practiced the previous year question. Are you practicing the PYQs of GATE and ESE for the topics that we have covered till now? Yes or no? Yes, then you can ask your doubt, beta. You can ask your doubt. Whatever your doubts are there related to the last class or whatever topics we have covered till now, you can ask your doubt. I'm good, beta. I'm good. Little bit throat pain. That's it. But we will continue our discussion as much as possible. So don't worry for that. We will have our class. Yes, Dadan, you can ask your doubt. So first ask your doubts and queries related to the previous classes. Then we will proceed further, and in today's class I am going to discuss about the very important topic from your all the exam point of view. If I talk about the GATE exam, ESE exam, from the linear measurement, you can expect a question. You can expect a question from this topic, that is the correction in linear measurement. So please tell me features of vernier scale. Vernier scale is used as a secondary scale for the exact measurement. So if you want to measure the distance with the help of the main scale, and the distance is actually, if you want to measure the distance that is the least, that is the smaller than the least count of the main scale, in that case we required a secondary scale for the measurement. So along with the main scale, we are using the vernier scale for the exact measurement. So this was the concept. This was the concept of the vernier scale. For example, with the help of this scale, I can measure only up to 1 mm. We cannot measure the distance which is having less than 1 mm value. Yes or no? So if you want to measure the distance that is having less than 1 mm value, for that, along with this main scale, we required a secondary scale also. In that case, we required a secondary scale also, and that secondary scale is vernier scale. So with the help of the vernier scale, we can measure the value that is less than from the least count of the main scale. So there are different types of the vernier. There are different configuration of the vernier. So we have discussed about the direct vernier. We have discussed about the retrograde vernier. We have discussed about the double vernier, and we have discussed about the extended vernier. So we have discussed all the characteristics and specification of all the verniers. So in the case of extended verniers, 2n minus 1 division of main scale will be equal to the n division of vernier scale. 2n minus 1 division of main scale will be equal to the n division of vernier scale. So that was the characteristics, that was the properties of the extended vernier. Any other point that you want to repeat? Any other point? So let's say in the case of, let's say, so in the today's class we are going to discuss about the chain corrections, tape corrections, and limiting length of the offset. So these three topics we are going to cover. But before that, let's take one example. So in the case of direct vernier, n minus 1 division of main scale will be equal to n division of vernier scale. This was the characteristics. Sir, actually, I want about parts of the vernier scale. That is not part of the discussion, dear. Again, same thing I am repeating again. The topics are quite vast. So if you go for the particular scale topic, it requires 4 to 5 hour discussion. It requires 4 to 5 hour discussion. But if you follow the gate PYQs, you will not find any single question related to the vernier. This is also the point. When you will practice the previous year question of gate, last 20 year, last 25-year question, you will not find any single question related to the vernier. But as it is the part of our syllabus, so we have covered some basic points. So if you go for the scale, there will be 5 to 6 hour discussion. But actually that discussion is not required. Actually that discussion is not required from our exam point of view. Pace measurement, pace, pace, step measurement. So our entire discussion is limited to from our exam point of view. Whatever topic we are covering, considering by keeping in the mind the pattern of the exam. This is the main point. If you want to crack the exam, it is very important to understand what to study. But it is also very important to understand what not to study. Otherwise, you are going to just simply waste your time. If the things is not important from exam point of view, if the concept is not important from exam point of view, that we are not going to lapse our time in that concept. Yes, that you can skip. That you can skip, no problem. There may be some typing error that you can skip. So let's see. I'm explaining little bit more about the vernier scale so that you will have some clear understanding. So this was the property of the direct vernier. Yesterday we have discussed about the direct vernier. So n minus 1 division of main scale will be equal to the n division of vernier scale. Let's say, for example, consider the value of n is equal to 10. So 9 division of main scale will be equal to 10 division of vernier scale. Yes or no? So let's simply draw a main scale. So let's say this is the main scale. Let's say this is the main scale. So can I draw the division? Yes. So let's say 1, this is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and let's say this is going to be the 10th division of the main scale. Let's say this is going to be the 10th division of the main scale. So as per the characteristics of the direct vernier, what you have written, n minus 1 division of main scale will be equal to the n division of the vernier scale. So let's say we have considered the value of n is equal to 10. So 9 division of main scale will be equal to the 10 division of vernier scale. So as you can see, let's say I am drawing the vernier scale also. Calibration will be in the same direction. In the case of vernier scale, calibration will be in the same direction. So let's say this is your vernier scale. So this is your vernier scale. So here you will see, let's say this is going to be the first division, second division, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, and 10th, let's say. So as you can see, this is your vernier scale. This is your vernier scale. So as you can see, 10 division of vernier scale are equal to the 9 division of the main scale. That's why you have written the vernier division is going to be smaller than the division of the main scale. Now I think you got the point, Dadan. In this way, so n division of main scale, sorry, n minus 1 division of main scale is going to equal to the n division of the vernier scale. So this is your value of small v. Division, one division of vernier scale we are representing with the help of v, and one division of main scale, one division of main scale we are representing with the help of s. So this is the construction detail of the direct vernier. This is the construction detail of the direct vernier. Now your all doubts are clear. Please confirm in the chat box. So what is the meaning of this n minus 1 division of main scale will be equal to the n division of vernier scale? Now I think this point is clear to everyone. Yes or no? Dadan, please confirm in the chat box, beta. Dadan. Similarly, in the case of extended vernier, 2n minus 1, same concept dear, same concept. 2n minus 1 division of main scale. 2n minus 1 division of main scale will be equal to the n division of vernier scale. So let's take n is equal to 10. So 19 division of main scale will be equal to the 10 division of vernier scale. In the case of retrograde vernier, n plus 1 division of main scale will be equal to the n division of vernier scale. Where it is, these are the different types of the vernier, dear. These are the different types of the vernier. All are the vernier scale, all are the secondary scale used for the exact measurement, but we have different types of the vernier. Like we are having the different types of the mobile, yes or no? Like we are having the different types of the car, like we are having the different types of the mobile, laptop, computer. So these are the different types with their different specification. Okay, so now let's move to the next topic, and the topic is very important from exam point of view. That is the corrections. But before starting the correction, let's understand some basic concept. For example, this is the point A and this is the point B. There are the 2 points A and B. There are the 2 points A and B. Can I say if there are 2 points A and B, the distance between the point A and B is going to be the unique value? If there are 2 fixed point A and B, the position of the point A and B is not changing. If the point A and B are the fixed point, can I say the distance between these 2 points are going to be the unique value? The distance, if the position of the point is not changing, the distance between the point A and B will also not change. Yes or no? The distance between the point A and B will not change if the position of the point A and B is fixed. Yes or no? We will get only one value for the distance between the point AB if these 2 points are fixed, and that value, that measurement we are considering as the true value of the measurement. That measurement we are considering as the true value of the measurement. It is the exact or ideal value of the measurement without any error. It is the exact or ideal value of the measurement. That means there will be no error. Yes or no? This value we are defining without error. Yes or no? So for that we are using the term true value. I hope the discussion about the true value is clear to everyone. Because if we measure about lengthy way, what is the lengthy way? I am talking about the horizontal distance only. I am talking about the horizontal distance only, dear. So if there are 2 points, we want to measure the horizontal distance. We want to measure the horizontal distance. I am talking about the exact measurement without any error. What will be this distance AB? That value we are considering as the true value of the measurement. Can we consider that value as the true value of the measurement? Yes or no? I have taken the example. I have taken the example with the help of the ranging rod. With the help of the ranging rod, you can perform the ranging. Let's say, don't worry, these terms will repeat again and again. In all the survey, there will be the ranging. In all survey, in the compass survey, there will be the concept of the ranging. Ranging means simply sighting. For example, I am standing here and I want to locate any point. So I can use the ranging rod. I can use the ranging rod. That's it. Where I have installed the peg. Where I have installed the peg. When we will talk about the compass survey, when we will talk about the theodolite survey, this term will again repeat. Don't worry. For the locating the point, for aligning, for extending the line, there should be no error due to the misalignment. So yesterday I have taken the example where I have extended the line with the help of the ranging rod. Let's say this is the line AB. Let's say this is the line AB. Now I want to extend this line on the ground. Now I want to extend this line on the ground. For that I will use the ranging rod. For that I will use the ranging rod. Means, for example, we have to locate this point C. We have to locate this point D. These points C and D should be in the same alignment of the point A and B. Otherwise, there will be the misalignment of the line. If we are locating the point B somewhere here, if we are locating the point C somewhere here, if we are locating the point D somewhere here, so this line is going to be misaligned. So if you want to extend this line, for that point C and point D in the same line of action to the point B. Can I say like this, yes or no? So how we can extend this line? How we can locate this point C and D on the ground? How we can locate this point C and D on the ground? For that we will use the ranging rod. What I will do? So for example, at the point V, I have placed a ranging rod like this. At the point B, I have placed a ranging rod like this. ऐसे समझ लो. Let's see. So for example, this is the point P where I have placed the ranging rod. The pen is visible to you. Now what I will do? I will take another ranging rod. One surveyor will be here. One surveyor will be at the point B. Behind this ranging rod. Consider yourself as a surveyor. Consider yourself as a surveyor. We have known position of the point B and we have put a ranging rod at the point B. Now there will be one more surveyor with having another ranging rod. Dadan, please focus, beta. Please focus one by one. If I am answering any particular doubt, first try to understand those concepts. Otherwise, you are just putting your doubts and you are not getting any concept. There will be no meaning. So while I am explaining one concept, please be patient. This point is clear. Can we move further? Okay, fine. This point is clear. So no need to explain, I think. You already have got the concept. Okay. So I was talking about the true value of the measurement. I was talking about the true value of the measurement. How we can define the true value of any measurement? It is the value without any error. That's why we are considering the exact value or ideal value. This is the exact value or ideal value of the measurement. There will be no error. But for example, I want to measure the distance between the point A and B. I want to measure the distance between the point A and B, and let's say we are having two surveyor. Let's say we are having two surveyor, surveyor 1 and surveyor 2. Can we say the dedication, the working standard, the knowledge, the working criteria on the field for the both the surveyor is going to be different, because every individual having its own way. Yes or no? If I am going to measure the distance, you are going to measure the distance, obviously there may be some difference. Yes or no? So let's say we are having the two surveyor. One is going to measure this distance with the help of the chain, and another is going to measure this distance with the help of the tape. Surveyor 1 is using the chain for measuring the distance AB, and surveyor 2 is using the tape for the measuring the distance between the point AB. Let's say the true value of this line is 5.5 meter. For example, the true value, the exact distance between the point A and B is going to be the 5.5 meter. For example, now when I asked from the surveyor 1 measure the distance between the point A and B with the help of the chain, and he or she is reporting the distance AB as 5.8 meter. He is reporting the distance as 5.8 meter. Similarly, surveyor 2 is measuring the distance between the point A and B with the help of the tape. And surveyor 2 is reporting this distance as 5.4 meter. Is this possible? If the 2 points are fixed, the distance between the point will vary. How this distance is varying when the point A and B both are fixed? It should have the unique value, it should have a single value. But as you can see, surveyor 1, as per the surveyor 1, the distance AB is 5.8 meter. And surveyor 2, the distance AB is 5.4 meter. Yes, these value may have some different value. Why? Because in these measurements there may be some error. So can I say these values are the measured value? Can I consider these value as a measured value? These values can we consider as the measured value? Yes or no? Can I consider these values as the measured value? Yes or no? And if there is no error, in the measurement, can I say the measured value will be equal to the true value? If these measured values are error free, these measured values are error free, there is no error, can I say these measured value are going to be equal to the true value? So these two terminology are very important, true value and measured value. With the help of these two terminology, I am going to explain very important concept, and that concept is error is equal to measured value minus true value. In any measurement, you can find out the value of the error. In any measurement, you can find out the value of the error if you know the measured value and true value. So for example, what is the value of the error for the surveyor 1? So for the surveyor 1, error will be equal to measured value is 5.8, true value is 5.5. This is going to be 0.3 meter. Yes or no? Positive error will be there. Similarly, for the surveyor 2, measured value is going to be 5.4 meter, true value is 5.5 meter, minus 0.1. For surveyor 2, the error is negative. Yes or no? Surveyor 1, there will be the positive error. So yes, from this example we can see error may be positive, error may be negative. So if there is any error in the measurement, we need to rectify that error. If there is any error in the measurement, we need to rectify that error, yes or no? So For that, can we apply the correction? So correction is going to be the true value minus measured value. Correction will be equal to true value minus measured value. So can I say the error and correction have some relation? Like error will be equal to minus correction. So for any measurement, the magnitude of the error and correction will same. For any measurement, the magnitude of the error and correction will same, but the nature is going to be opposite. If we are doing the positive error, if we want to correct this value 5.8 meter, we need to apply the negative correction to get the true value. 5.8 minus 0.3 will be equal to 5.5. If the error was positive, we need to apply the negative correction to get the true value. If the error is negative, we need to apply the positive correction. So 5.4 plus 0.1 will be equal to 5.5. So nature of the error and correction is going to be negative. Nature of the error and correction is going to be negative and the magnitude will same. I hope these points are clear to everyone. So in this slide, I have discussed about the true value of the measurement. I have discussed about the measured value of the measurement. I have discussed about the error and I have discussed about the correction. With the help of the example, I hope the entire discussion till now is clear to everyone. The entire discussion till now is clear to everyone, yes or no? If anyone having any doubt, you can ask your doubt, you can ask your query. So whenever we will talk about the error or correction, we require two things. Whenever in any survey, in any measurement, whenever we will talk about the error and correction, there is need to know the two things. One is the magnitude and another is the nature. Both things are important. Magnitude and nature. If there will be the positive error, we will apply the negative correction. If there will be the negative error, we will apply the positive correction. Okay, so now let's move further. So we were talking about the linear measurement. So we were measuring the horizontal distance with the help of the chain or tape. So what are the various possible error that may occur in our measurement? So first error is going to be the error due to the standardization. So what is this error? Listen carefully. And this is the very important. Let's say I want to measure the distance between the point A and B. Let's say I want to measure the distance between point A and B with the help of the chain or tape. So with the help of the chain or tape. So if we want to measure the distance between the point A and B, what we required? We required chain or tape. Let's take the example of the tape. You went to the market. And you purchased let's say for example, you have purchased a 20-meter tape. You have purchased a tape which was having the length of 20 meter. That 20 meter is going to be the standard value. So you ask from the shopkeeper, please give me a 20-meter tape. Same thing you will do. Shopkeeper provided you a 20-meter tape. And with the help of that tape, you want to measure this distance A and B. With the help of that tape, you want to measure this distance A between the point A and B. But there was some problem. The standard length of the tape was the standard length of the tape was 20 meter. You were considering that the tape is having the length of 20 meter, but due to any manufacturing defect, the actual length of the tape is less than or greater than 20 meter. Are you getting this point? Due to any manufacturing defect, due to any manufacturing failure, the actual length of the chain or tape is either less than 20 meter or greater than 20 meter. Both possibilities are there. But you are considering that tape is having the length of 20 meter. But if the actual length of the tape is not 20 meter, can I say with the help of that tape, whatever quantities you are going to measure are going to be incorrect? Because you are considering your tape as having the length of 20 meter, but the actual length of the tape is not 20 meter. It is either greater than 20 meter or less than 20 meter. It is either greater than 20 meter or less than 20 meter. So in that case, there will be some error in your measurement, and that error we are considering, that error we are defining as the error due to the standardization. That error we are defining as the error due to the standardization. So let's understand some important terminology. So let standard length of the tape is going to be 20 meter. And let's take the standard value. So let's say we are considering the standard length of the tape with the help of the small l. Any problem to anyone? Incorrect length of tape. Incorrect length of tape. Let's say that is going to be L dash. Incorrect length of the tape is going to be L dash. L dash may be greater than L. L dash may be less than L. So with the help of this incorrect tape, if you are measuring this distance, let's say this is going to be the L dash. So what is this capital L dash? Capital L dash is going to be the measured, and this is going to be the incorrect length of the line. Measured or incorrect length of the line, let's say that is going to be L dash. So now, if I want to find out the correct length of the line, if I want to find out the correct length of line, that we are representing with the help of the capital L. So if you want to find out the correct length, what concept we can use? Can we say the correct length of the tape and the correct length of the line should have equal? Obviously, this is going to be the constant value, because the distance between the 2 points are going to be fixed. It will not change. The distance between the point A and B is constant. That will not change. That is the fixed distance. Either your tape is right or wrong. So I am using the same concept. Can I say the correct length of the tape multiplied by the correct length of the line will be equal to the incorrect length of the tape into the incorrect length of the line? Yes or no? Because the multiplication of these two will be the same. This will also represent the distance, actual distance between the point A and B, and this multiplication will also represent the actual distance between the point A and B. Yes or no? So can we use the notations? Yes. What is the correct length of the tape? L. What is the correct length of the line? L. What is the incorrect length of the tape? That is going to be L dash. What is the incorrect length of the line? That is going to be capital L dash. So from here, can we find out the value of correct length of the line? So L dash into capital L dash divided by L. Yes or no? So this is in this way. If there is any error due to the standardization, in the case of linear measurement, with the help of this concept, we can find out the correct length of the line. We can find out the true value of the line. I hope this point is clear to everyone. Let's take some example to get you more clarity. Let's take some example. So I am taking two example here. Let's say the standard length of the tape is 30 meter. Let's say the standard length of the tape is 30 meter. Example number 1 and example number 2. So standard length of the tape is 30 meter. and the actual length, the incorrect length of the tape is, let's say, 30.1 meter. We have measured some length. Let's say we have measured the length. We have measured the length of the line that is equal to 700 meter with the help of this incorrect tape. Now I want to find out the what will be the correct length of the line. So the actual length of the tape was 30.1 meter, but we were considering that tape that having the length of 30 meter. In this measurement, there will be error, yes or no? This is the measured value of the line that you are getting as 700 meter. This should be the incorrect value because your tape was not having the standard length of 30 meter. Yes or no? Let's take one more example. Same example, let's say the correct length, standard length of the tape was 30 meter and incorrect length of the tape was 29.9 meter. You have measured the length is equal to 700 meter. Now you want to find out the correct length of the line. Both possibilities we have considered. In the example 1, the actual length of the tape was greater than the standard length of the tape. Yes or no? Actual length of the tape is greater than the standard length of the tape. In the second example, actual length of the tape is less than the standard length of the tape. We have considered both the condition. We have considered both the condition. I didn't understand this. How L, dear? If you are measuring the distance with the help of the correct tape, if you are measuring this distance with the help of the correct tape, if you are measuring this distance with the help of the RIA, if you are measuring this distance with the help of the correct tape, you will get the correct length of the line. Yes or no? If you are measuring this length with the help of the correct tape, you are going to get the correct length of the line. Yes or no? Tell me. If you are using the correct tape for the measurement, you will get the correct length of the line. Ria, are you there? When you are using the incorrect length of the tape, when you are using the incorrect tape, you will get the incorrect value of the line. Yes or no? But in both the cases, length will be same na, because the point A and B is going to be fixed point, so length will not change. So with the help of the correct tape, you are getting the correct length. With the help of the incorrect tape, you will get the incorrect length. Yes or no? Now the point is clear. Okay, so now we can move further. So we are going to draw the very important conclusion. Listen carefully. So can I find out the incorrect length of the incorrect into incorrect will be equal to correct into correct. Incorrect length of the tape, that is going to be 30.1. Incorrect length of the line, that is going to be 7 meter. Correct length of the tape, that is going to be 30. Correct length of the line that we want to calculate. So 30.1 multiply by 7 divide by 30, that will be equal to. So this is to be 702.33 meter. Are you getting the same value? Yes or no? In this case, I can write correct into correct will be equal to incorrect into incorrect. Correct length of the tape 30. Correct length of the line that we want to know 29.9 multiply by the 700. So what will be the correct length of the line? To 697.66 meter. Yes or no? So for the first example, can we find out the value of error? So this is going to be the true value of the measurement. This is going to be the measured value of the measurement. Can we find out the error? Error is going to be the measured value minus true value, and measured value was 700 minus true value is 702.33. So can I say there will be negative error of 2.33 meter? Error is equal to measured value minus true value. Error is equal to measured value minus true value. Similarly, can I find out the correction? Correction is going to be the true value minus measured value. So it will comes out plus का 2.33 meter. So in this measured value, if we are applying the positive correction, we are getting the true value. Yes or no? Similarly, in this case, error will be equal to measured value minus true value, and that will be equal to, this is your true value of the measurement, 700 minus 697.66. तो प्लस का 2.33 मीटर. So correction will be equal to minus का 2.33 meter. Correction will be equal to negative. So from this example, can I draw a very important conclusion? From these two examples, can we draw a very important conclusion? Can I say if the incorrect length of the tape is greater than the correct length of the tape, in this case, correction will be positive? Can I say in this case the correction will be positive? All the values are in front of you. So due to any reason, if our length of the tape is stretched, if the length of our tape is increased due to any reason, so if the incorrect length of the tape is greater than the correct length of the tape, in that case the correction is going to be positive. You have explanation in front of you. Similarly, if the incorrect length of the tape is less than the correct length of the tape, in that case the correction is going to be negative. In that case the correction is going to be negative. Can we draw these two conclusions from these two examples? Can we draw these two conclusions from this example, yes or no? Due to any reason, because the length of the tape may increase or decrease due to various reasons. We will cover one by one. The length of the tape may increase or decrease. There are various reasons. So irrespective of the reason, if the incorrect length of the tape is greater than the correct length of the tape, in that case we need to apply the positive correction. If the incorrect length of the tape is less than the correct length of the tape, in that case we need to apply the negative correction. I hope the discussion till now is clear to everyone. I hope the discussion till now is clear to everyone, yes or no? I hope the discussion till now is clear to everyone, yes or no? So in this way, if there is any error due to the standardization of the tape length, we can find out the error, we can find out the correction. We know the magnitude and nature for both error and correction. We know the magnitude, we know the nature of the error and correction in both the cases. So this was your first error and correction in the tape measurement. Now let's move further. So there may be some error due to the slope. There may be some error due to the slope. Let's try to understand this point. So for example, this is your ground. For example, this is your ground profile. There is a point A, this is the point A, and this is the point B. So if this is the profile of the ground, if this is the profile of the ground, so with the help of the chain or tape, can we say we can measure only this distance? With the help of the chain or tape, we can measure the inclined distance, yes or no? We can measure only this distance with the help of the chain or tape. Is this L dash is the horizontal distance between the point A and B? Tell me. The value that you have measured, that is L dash, this is your measured value. This is your measured value. Can I say This is the horizontal distance between the point A and B. Because there was slope in the ground. There was slope in the ground. Due to that slope, we can only measure this inclined distance. This is not the horizontal distance between the point A and B. Because we know the definition. We know the definition. Horizontal distance. Let's say this was the slope theta. Horizontal distance is going to be AB dash. This distance is going to be the horizontal distance, and this is going to be the true value of the measurement. But as the ground profile is having the slope, we cannot measure this true value. So in the field we are measuring this inclined distance, but that is going to be the incorrect measurement. Yes or no? So here AB is not going to be the horizontal distance. AB dash is going to be the horizontal distance that we are considering as the true value, but in the field we can measure this value, that is going to be L dash. So there is some error due to the slope in our linear measurement, because in our linear measurement the objective was to measure the horizontal distance, but due to this slope you are able to measure the inclined distance. You are able to measure the inclined distance. So can I say there is error, and this error is due to the slope. So there are two possibility. Here are two possibility. Let's say case 1. So if you can measure this angle theta. So if theta is known, sir, how we can measure this theta? So is there any instrument that is available for measuring the ground slope? Is there any instrument that is available for measuring the ground slope? Yes. So if you are having the clinometer, so with the help of the clinometer, we can measure this ground slope theta. So if you can measure this theta, if the theta is known, so can I say this is going to be, what will be the error? So error is going to be the measured value minus true value. From the diagram itself, you can see. So true value is going to be, let's say, L. True value is going to be, let's say, L. So from the diagram you can say L dash is greater than L. That means the measured value is greater than the true value. Can I say if this measured value is more as compared to the true value, we will always get the positive error. We will always get the positive error due to the slope, yes or no? So if I talk about the correction due to slope, can I say it is going to be negative always? So this is the nature of the correction. But we also require the magnitude. So this is going to be the true value minus measured value. True value is L and measured value is going to be the L dash. So we can find out the correction due to slope. If we know this value L, but that is unknown for us. So if this is the value L dash, this angle is theta, can I say this is going to be the L dash cos theta? L will be equal to L dash cos theta. Yes or no? L will be equal to L dash cos theta. Can I say like this? So if I take the minus common from here, so I can write this is going to be L dash minus L, or L will be equal to L dash cos theta. So I can write correction due to slope will be equal to L dash minus L dash cos theta. If we take L dash common, 1 minus cos theta. So this is going to be the correction due to slope. So if theta is known, so with the help of the measured value L dash and this theta, we can find out the slope correction. We can find out the slope correction. What will be the nature of the slope correction? So due to slope, always your measured value is going to be more as compared to the true value. That means due to the slope there will be always positive error. Due to the slope there will be always a positive error, and for that we need to apply the negative correction. For that we need to apply the negative correction. The discussion till now is clear to everyone. Please confirm in the chat box. Everyone please confirm in the chat box. The discussion till now is clear to everyone. The discussion till now is clear to everyone. Okay. So one more possibility is there. So if you know the H, elevation difference between the point A and B, if you know the elevation difference between the point, if this H is known, so we can find out this slope correction with the help of this H also. So C slope will be equal to, if H is known. So two possibilities are there. If theta is known, that we have discussed. If H is known, with the help of these expression, we can find out the slope correction. These are not formula. We have simply derived with the help of the Pythagoras theorem. So let's say, should I derive this or the point is clear? So let's say, so for example, this was the condition. So this is your measured value. So can I say this is the error due to the slope? Yes or no? This is the C slope required, correction due to slope. So can I say, let's say L dash plus C slope whole square will be equal to this. Let's say this is your L square plus this is your H square. Can I say like this? Tell me. So from here we can find out the value of the C slope. So approximate formula will be equal to, approximate value you will get, C slope will be equal to H square upon 2L, measured value. So if H is known, we can apply this concept to find out the slope. What will be the nature of the slope correction? It is going to be always negative. Slope correction is going to be always negative. So this was the discussion related to the slope correction. So we have discussed about the standardization. We have discussed about the slope. Yes, in our measurement there may be some error due to the pull. There may be some error due to the temperature or pull. Let's talk about the pull. So let's understand about this correction. First we will talk about the error, then we will talk about the correction. Let's say these are the 2 points on the ground. This is your capital A and this is your capital B. If you want to measure the horizontal distance, what you will do? So if we are placing the tape along this curved path, so that is not going to be the horizontal distance, yes or no? If we are considering this unevenness of the ground, if we are measuring that distance, this will not be considered as the horizontal distance between the point A and B. This will not consider as the horizontal distance between the point A and B. So for that we required even ground. So for that what we will do? We will use some tripod. So we are using the tripod something like this. Yes. So there will be a pulley arrangement. There will be a pulley arrangement. Now we are going to place, the tape on this pulley. Something like this. But as you know, there will be the self weight of the tape. To make this tape straight, what we need to apply? We need to apply pull at the time of measurement. We need to apply the pull at the time of measurement, yes or no? Otherwise, there will be the sagging, or if you are measuring the curve distance, that is going to be the incorrect distance. So if you want to measure the horizontal distance between the point A and B, we need to apply the pull. So what is this? What is this term? PM stands for the pull at the time of measurement. Pull at the time of measurement. Obviously, every material have certain standards. Every material have certain standards. Let's say the standard pull. For this tape material was P naught. So what is this P naught? P naught is the standard pull. P naught is the standard pull. So if what is the value of the standard pull, that same pull we are applying at the time of measurement, there will be no error due to the pull. Yes or no? There will be no error due to the pull. But if at the time of measurement PM is greater than P naught, or if at the time of measurement PM is less than P naught, obviously there will be some error in our measurement. If we are applying more pull as compared to the standard pull at the time of measurement, there will be error. If we are applying the less pull from the standard pull, then also there will be the error. So first we are talking about the nature of the pull correction required. First we are talking about the nature of the pull correction. First we are talking about the nature of the pull correction. Listen carefully. Listen carefully. So what we are doing? Can I say if we are applying the more pull as compared to the standard pull, there will be the elongation. There will be the elongation of the tape. Tell me. And if there is the elongation in the length of the tape, so L dash is going to be greater than L. Incorrect length of the tape will greater than the standard or the correct length of the tape if we are applying the pull that is greater than from the standard pull. Let's come back to the previous slide. If due to any reason, if the incorrect length of the tape is greater than the correct length of the tape, we need to apply the positive correction. So can I say, if this is the situation, correction due to pull is going to be positive? Yes or no? Can we say like this? And if the pull at the time of measurement is less than the standard pull, in that case L dash is going to be less than L, so we need to apply the negative correction. In that case, correction due to pull is going to be negative. So this is related to the nature. Of the pull correction. We required one more thing. What is the magnitude of pull correction? So we can write delta P L upon AE. So delta P may be PM minus P naught or P naught minus PM. L is the incorrect length. A is the cross-sectional area of tape. A is the cross-sectional area of tape or E is the modulus of elasticity. Modulus of elasticity of tape. So if we know all these parameters, if we know all these parameters, can we find out the correction due to pull required? And we also know the nature of the pull correction. We also know the nature of the pull correction. In this way, whatever measured value is there, for that we can apply the pull correction. For that we can apply the pull correction. I hope the discussion about the pull correction is clear to everyone. I hope the discussion about the pull correction is clear to everyone, yes or no? Please confirm in the chat box. The discussion about the pull correction is clear to everyone. How we can find out the magnitude of the pull correction, how we can find out the nature of the pull correction, all these discussion is clear to everyone. Please confirm in the chat box. Please confirm in the chat box. Audio video is clear to everyone. If due to any reason, Ria, if due to any reason incorrect length of the tape is greater than the correct length of the tape, incorrect, it's clear? Okay. So now let's move to the next correction, and that is the correction due to the temperature. Same concept. So we can find out the correction temperature will be equal to L alpha delta T. This is going to be the magnitude. L is going to be the length. L is going to be the length. Alpha is the thermal coefficient. Alpha is the thermal coefficient and delta T is the temperature difference. So this can be Tm minus T naught or T naught minus Tm. What are these terms? So Tm is the temperature at the time of measurement. Temperature at the time of measurement. What is this T naught? Standard temperature. Standard temperature. Again, see. So if Tm is greater than T naught, this may be the possibility, or Tm is less than T naught. Because if the Tm and T naught is equal, if the Tm and T naught is equal, there will be no error due to the temperature. There will be no error due to the temperature difference if both these temperatures are equal. But if the field temperature is greater than the standard temperature, again in that case what will happen? In that case the length of the tape will increase due to this temperature difference. Yes or no? If the temperature at the time of measurement or the field temperature is greater than the standard temperature of the tape, the length will increase, elongation will be there. So can I say L dash is going to be greater than L? Incorrect length of the tape will be greater than the correct length of the tape. Obviously, in that case, you required to see temperature is going to be positive. Same concept. In this case, your L dash is going to be less than L. So we required negative temperature correction. We required negative temperature correction. In that case, we required negative temperature correction. So this was the discussion related to the temperature correction. This was the discussion related to the temperature correction. So one more error will be there due to the sag. What is the concept of the sag? So for example, this was the point A, this was the point B, and to measure the horizontal distance between the point A and B, you are using, let's say, tape. So tape is having some weight. Yes or no? Tape is having some weight. So due to the self weight of the tape, due to the self weight of the tape, there you will see some sagging effect under the action of the gravity. Under the action of the gravity, you will see sagging of the tape due to the self weight of the tape. Yes or no? Due to the self weight of the tape, there will be the sagging of the tape. So due to this sag, this distance you are going to measure, but this should be the true value. If you want to define the horizontal distance between the point A and B, there should be no sagging on the tape. There should be no sagging on the tape. Yes or no? Tell me. So now how we can, obviously error is going to be measured value minus true value. Can I say due to the effect of the sagging? Due to the effect of the sagging, always the measured value will be more as compared to the true value. Due to the effect of the sagging, we are measuring this curve length, and this curve length will always greater than the straight length. That means due to the effect of the sagging, measured value will always greater than the true value of the measurement. Can we say like this? Can we say like this? Due to the effect of the sagging, our measured value is going to be more as compared to the true value. As compared to the true value. Can we say like this? Tell me. So if the measured value is greater than the true value, can I say there will be always positive error due to the sagging? There will be always positive error due to the sagging. Yes or no? There will always positive error due to the sagging. Can we say like this? Tell me. So can I say there will be always negative sag correction required? So nature of the sag correction is going to be negative always. So how we can find out the magnitude of sag correction? So W square L cube. Let's say this distance is L1. So W square L1 cube upon 24 pm square. P or the pm is the pull at the time of measurement. Pull at the time of measurement. That value is going to be the pm. W is the weight per unit length of the tape. P is the applied pull. L1 is the length of the tape suspended between the supports. Suspended between the supports. In this way, we can find out the correction due to sag. So these are the corrections that are required. One more error is there due to the misalignment. Due to the misalignment. So just see combined correction. So from this particular topic, you will get two types of the problem. Listen carefully. From this topic, you are getting the two types of the problem in your exam. What are the two types of the problem? Type 1. In the type 1 of the problem, single corrections, they will talk about the single correction. Like they can talk about the temperature correction. They can talk about the pull correction. They can talk about the sag correction. Again I am repeating my words. Whenever you will talk about the error or correction, you require two things. One is the magnitude of the error and one is the nature of the error or correction. Both things are required. We have discussed about the various corrections, but for all the corrections we have calculated the magnitude, as well as we have also discussed about the nature, because some corrections may be positive, some corrections may be negative. So in the type 1 problem, they can ask about any one particular type of the correction, like what will be the magnitude, like what will be the nature of the particular correction. They can provide you the values. They can ask to calculate the value of magnitude of the particular correction. Simple question. In the type 2 problem, they can ask about the combined correction. They can ask about the combined correction. Like, they may get you the data where the pull correction is required, where the temperature correction is required, where the sag correction is required. So if you want to find out the total correction, so you should know the magnitude and nature of each and every correction. The magnitude and the nature of the each and every correction. To consider the slope correction also. Multiple correction will be there. So can I say this pull correction may be positive or negative? This temperature correction may be positive or negative depending upon the data given in the question. This sag correction is going to be always negative. This slope correction will be always negative. In this way can we find out the combined or total correction required? In this way can we find out the combined or total correction required? So whenever you will see the problem related to the combined or total correction, whenever you will see the problem related to the combined or total correction, in that case you should know the magnitude and the nature of separate corrections. Otherwise you cannot find out the combined correction. So generally these type of the problem you will get in 1 mark. These type of the problem you will get in 1 mark, and these type of the problem you will get in 2 marks in your GATE exam. I hope the discussion till now is clear to everyone. So everyone please confirm in the chat box whatever we have covered till now related to the correction in the linear measurement. This point is clear to everyone. And if anyone having any doubt, any query at any point, you can ask your doubt, you can ask your query. So what are the various errors in the linear measurement? What are the various corrections required in the linear measurement? And how we can find out the individual correction, and how we can find out the combined correction. I hope all these points are clear to everyone. But can we move further? Can we move to the next topic? If there is elongation, then correction would be positive. If there is elongation, then correction would be positive. If there is elongation, then correction would be positive. सही तो है? Yes. If there is elongation, correction will be positive. If there is if the incorrect length of the tape is less than the correct length of the tape, in that case correction will be negative. So this is the example. Same we have used for the pull and temperature. So if the PM is greater than P naught, L dash is going to be greater than L. Correction is positive. If the field temperature is greater than the standard temperature, this will be positive. This is not the tape length. This is the measured value. In sag correction, due to the effect of the sag, you are going to measure this curve length. In the sag correction, this is the sagging, this curvature you are seeing due to the effect of the gravity. So, this is the distance between the sag, this is the distance between the sagging. But if there is a sagging, we are measuring this curve distance between the point. So obviously this curve distance will be greater than the straight distance. Yes or no? That's why you are saying under the effect of the sagging, due to the effect of the sagging, always the measured value is going to be more as compared to the true value. We have to measure this straight value, but we are not able to measure this straight value due to the effect of the sagging. And due to the effect of the sagging, we are measuring this curve length, and curve length is going to be more as compared to the straight length. That's why we are saying due to the effect of the sagging, our measured value will always greater than the true value. And if the measured value is always greater than the true value, there will be always positive error due to the sag. Yes or no? And if the error is always positive, we need to apply the always negative sag correction. We need to apply the negative sag correction. Any other doubt to anyone? Any other doubt to anyone? Any other doubt to anyone? L dash is greater than L. Correction is positive. If L dash is less than L, due to any reason, the correction is going to be negative. Riya, there are two terms, beta. There are length of the line, there are length of the tape. Then in sag, it would also be positive. This is not incorrect length of the tape, dear. Small l dash was the incorrect length of the tape. Small l was the correct length of the tape. Here we are talking about the measurements. We need to measure the straight value, but due to the sagging, under the effect of the gravity, we are not able to measure the straight distance. So I am talking about the measured value of the line and true value of the line. And you are getting confused with the true length of the tape and the incorrect length of the tape. These two terms are different. We have used small l for the tape and we have used capital L for the length of the line. So here we are not talking about the length of the tape. Here we are talking about the measurement. So this is going to be your measured value. This should be the true value. Here no term related to the tape. Here no term is related to the tape. Okay, so now let's move further. So now we are going to discuss one more topic, that is the limiting length of the offset. Now we are going to discuss another important topic, that is the limiting length of the offset, and this is going to be the last topic of your linear measurement. Listen carefully. Yesterday we have talked about the offset. So in the yesterday's discussion we have discussed that offset are the lateral measurements. Yes. And We have also discussed if the angle is perfect 90 degree, if we are taking the measurements in perfect lateral direction, for that we will use the term offset. If the angle is other than 90 degree, if the angle is other than 90 degree, and if that was the lateral measurement, for that we will use the term oblique offset. All these points we have covered in the yesterday's class. All these points we have covered in the yesterday's class. Yes. So what is this limiting length of the offset? So, for example, this is the ground. Listen carefully. This was the ground and this is your survey line, let's say. And this is the offset. This is the offset. Let's say the length is having the L1. We have measured this offset of length L1. Now what we need to do? We are going to plot this detail into the piece of paper for the preparation of the map. Yes or no? So when you will plot this detail, there may be some error while plotting. Yes or no? There may be some error while plotting the offset. Yes, it may occur. In the case of offset, we have performed the two measurement. In the case of offset, we have performed the two measurement. L1 was the linear measurement and this theta was the angular measurement. In the offset, two measurements are required. One is this length. This is going to be the linear measurement. Another is going to be this theta and this is going to be the angular measurement. For any offset, we required two types of the measurement. Can we say like this? For any offset, we required two types of the measurement. One is going to be the linear measurement and another will be the angular measurement. So while plotting, we can commit the mistake. While plotting the detail, we can commit the mistake. We can commit the mistake in the linear measurement or we can commit the mistake in both linear and angular measurement. Yes or no? We can commit a mistake in the angular measurement or in the both linear and angular measurement. Because in every survey, there will be some error. In every survey, there will be some error due to the instrument. If we are using the faulty instruments, for example, if we have used the optical offset, yes, angle was not 45 degree, angle was 44 degree. So we have located the detail at an angle of 88 degree and we are considering that angle. We are understanding that angle as 90 degree. There is error. So yesterday we have talked about the cross staff, prism square, optical square. So some error in the survey work due to the instrument, some error in the survey work due to the surveyor, like personal error. So we can classify the error in three types. Listen carefully. For any survey, we can classify the errors in three categories. One is going to be the instrumental error. These error occurred in our measurement due to the faulty instrument. Second is the personal error. This is due to the mistakes due to the surveyor. You have taken the incorrect observation. You have noted the wrong value. So these are the error in our measurement due to the personal reasons of the surveyor. On these types of the error we are terminating as personal error. Yes. One more type of the error will be there. That is the natural error. Just we have discussed about the effect of the gravity. So gravity is the natural phenomena. The effect of the gravity is not due to the personal reason. The effect of the gravity is not due to the instrumental reason. So it is the natural source of the error. So due to the effect of the gravity in our linear measurement, there was the error due to the sagging. So that error is due to the natural sources. So instrumental error, personal error and natural error. So in the case of offset, we are performing the two measurements. One is the linear measurement, one is the angular measurement. So there may be some possibilities that we can commit the mistake. There will be error in the angular measurement or laying the direction, or an error in the both linear measurement and angular measurement. So this is the important point. In the case of chain survey, the maximum length of the error that is allowed on the paper is 0.025 centimeter. Whenever you will go for the chain survey, whenever you are preparing the map with the help of the chain survey, the maximum error that you can allow, the maximum error that we can allow on the paper is going to be 0.025 centimeter. Error should not be greater than error on the paper should not be greater than 0.025 centimeter. I hope this point is clear to everyone. I hope this point is clear to everyone, yes or no. So this is the important guideline. Whenever we will go for the chain survey, the maximum error on the paper that we can allow is going to be 0.025 centimeter. So there are two cases. So now we want to know what should be this length. What should be this length? What should be the maximum length of the offset that we should consider on the ground, so that when I will plot this length on the paper, the error will not be greater than the 0.025 centimeter. So now we want to calculate this length, so that whenever we will plot this offset on the paper, the error on the paper should not be greater than 0.025 centimeter. For that, what is the maximum length of the offset that we can consider on the ground in the case of chain survey, that we want to know. I hope what do you mean by the limiting length of the offset is clear to everyone. It is the maximum length of the offset allowed in the chain survey, due to which no error reflected on the map or paper. Due to which no error is reflected on the map or on the paper. Now we want to calculate, now we want to define that length of the offset. Now we want to define that length of the offset. Very simple concept. I hope what is the meaning, what is the concept of the limiting length of the offset is clear to everyone. What is the concept of the limiting length of the offset is clear to everyone, yes or no? Please confirm in the chat box if the discussion till now is clear to everyone. Then we will go for the two cases. So there are two cases to find out the limiting length of the offset. Whenever we will plot the map, whenever we will prepare the map, definitely we are going to use some scale, yes or no? And we have discussed in detail about the scale. Without scale, we will not prepare any map, yes or no? Without scale, we will not prepare any map. And how we can define the map? How we can define the scale? Scale is going to be the map distance divided by the ground distance. So 1 centimeter is equal to 10 meter. Let's say this is the scale. What it indicates, what it means, 1 centimeter on the paper will represent the 10 meter of the ground. If the scale is 1 centimeter is equal to 10 meter, so 1 centimeter on the paper will represent the 10 meter of the ground. That was the meaning of the scale. So with the help of the scale, we can relate the map distance and ground distance. With the help of the scale, we can relate the map distance and ground distance. I hope you remember all these points. I hope you remember all these points. Please confirm in the chat box. Okay. So now let's talk about the first case. So case 1 we are discussing when there is error in the laying direction. When there is an error in the laying direction, you have committed the measurement, you have committed the error or mistake in the angular measurement. So let's see, it's very simple. So what we can say? So let's say this is the error that we have committed, that is going to be theta. So we should, this, let's say this is going to be the measured length and that is going to be L. This angle is theta. So this is going to be L cos theta and this is going to be L sin theta. If this is the length L, if this is angle theta, this is going to be L cos theta and this will be equal to the L sin theta. Yes or no? There is an error of L sin theta. There is the error of L sin theta. Why? Due to this angular error in the angular measurement. Due to the error in the angular measurement, on the paper you will find the error that will be equal to L sin theta. Yes or no? And this error we are getting due to the laying in the wrong direction. We have considered our offset in the wrong direction. What was the error? Error of theta degree. So, as we know, if the scale of the map is 1 centimeter is equal to S meter, so length of the error on the paper, this L sin theta was the error. This L sin theta was the error on the ground due to this theta. This L sin theta was the error on the ground due to this theta. Yes or no? So, can we relate this ground distance and map distance? So, we can use the scale. Scale is going to be the map distance upon ground distance. We know the ground error. We know the magnitude of the error on the ground and that will be equal to L sin theta. We know the scale. So can we find out the error on the map? Yes or no? Can we find out the value of the error on the map? Yes or no? With the help of the scale, can we relate the map distance and ground distance? Can we relate the map distance and ground distance? Yes or no? So same concept we are using here. So L sin theta is the error on the ground. Divide by the scale. It should not be greater than 0.025 centimeter. So length of the error on the paper is going to be L sin theta by S, where S is the scale, 1 centimeter is equal to S meter. And as we know, in the case of chain survey, the error on the paper should not be greater than 0.025 centimeter. So from this expression, can we find out the value of L? Again I am repeating, listen carefully. Again I am repeating, listen carefully. So this is the offset that you need to locate. This is the length of the offset. This is the scene on the ground. This is the scene on the ground and this is the angle that is going to be 90 degree. Now what you are saying, ki sir, when we were surveying, so due to, in the case of offset, we have committed some mistake in the angular measurement. We have committed some mistake in angular measurement. Riya, this point is clear? So this should be the correct position of the offset, but there was some error in the angular measurement and that error was theta. That error was theta. This point is clear, dear? So let's say this length is L. Now can we take the component? If this is going to be the L, this angle is theta, so can I say this value will be equal to, L cos theta, and this value will be equal to L sin theta. Can we say like this? This is the L sin theta is the error on the ground due to this theta, due to this mistake in the measurement of the angle, we will get L sin theta error on the ground. Now I want to convert this ground error into the map error. Now I want to convert this ground error into the map error. So how we can, let's say for example, this is going to be 10 meter. Let's say the value of L sin theta is 10 meter. So if we are using the scale 1 centimeter is equal to 1 meter, if we are using the scale 1 centimeter is equal to 1 meter, so for this example, what will be the error on map? Error on the ground is 10 meter. Scale is 1 centimeter is equal to 1 meter. So can I say error on the map is going to be 10 centimeter? Yes or no? Can I say like this? So with the help of the scale, we can relate the map distance and ground distance. So same things we are using. Same thing we are using. If this was the error, L sin theta on the ground, so with the help of the scale, can we say map upon ground? Yes or no? How error is 10 centimeter? That was the example. If there is a distance on the ground is, 10 meter. See. And we want to prepare the map. And we want to represent this AB line on the paper. So for the preparation of the map, we required a scale, yes or no? For the preparation of the map, we required a scale. Let's say we are considering the scale 1 centimeter is equal to 1 meter. So to represent the 10 meter on the ground, what will be the distance on the paper as per this scale? If we want to represent this 10 meter of the ground on the paper as per this scale, what will be the distance small ab on the paper? So how error is 10 centimeter? Now I think you got the point. Yes or no? Okay. So same concept we are using. As we know, in the case of chain survey, the error on the paper should not be greater than 0.025 centimeter. So that was the error on the ground. This is the scale, and this is the error on the paper, and it should not be greater than 0.025 centimeter. So can I say from this expression we can calculate the length of the offset? From this expression we can calculate the length of the offset. If we are taking this length of the offset, so whenever we will plot the detail on the paper, our error is not going to be greater than 0.025 centimeter. So this was the case 1 when we have committed the error in the angular measurement. One more possibility is there. When you are committing the error in both laying direction as well as the linear measurement. So for example, this was the offset. First you have committed the error in theta, and you have also committed the error in linear measurement. You have also committed the error in linear measurement, and this is the error due to the theta, and that value we have already know, that is going to be L sine theta. Yes or no? So now can I say this is the error L sine theta? This is the error L sine theta due to the laying direction, and this is the error due to the linear measurement. So can I say this is going to be the net error? This is going to be the net error on the ground. So can we find out net error on the ground? Net error on the ground will be equal to under root L sine theta का whole square plus x square. Net error on the ground will be equal to under root L sine theta का whole square plus x square. Yes or no? This is the net error on the ground due to the laying direction as well as the incorrect linear measurement. Now can we convert this ground error into the paper error? Now can we convert this ground error into the error on the map or the paper? How? With the help of the scale? With the help of the scale, we can convert this ground error into the error on the map. Same concept we are again going to use. So this is the error on the ground, divide by scale, and this error on the paper should not be greater than 0.025 centimeter. So again, can I find out the limiting length of the offset? Again, can I find out the limiting length of the offset? In the case 2, there was the error due to the laying direction as well as error in the linear measurement. So in this way, if we are measuring this length of the offset, and we will plot the detail, and if there will be error in the linear measurement and the angular measurement, in that case also the error on the paper is not going to be greater than 0.025 centimeter. So in the question they will provide you the cases कि there is error in the laying direction only, or there is error in the direction as well as the linear measurement. Depending upon the provided case, we can find out the limiting length of the offset. I hope the entire discussion is clear to everyone. So this was the discussion, dear, related to the linear measurement. In the linear measurement, we have discussed about the scales. In the linear measurements, we have discussed about the chain or tape survey. We have discussed about the corrections or error in the case of linear measurement. And the last topic that we have covered, that was the errors, that was the limiting length of the offset. So in this way, we have completed our chapter number 2. First chapter was the fundamental of surveying. Second chapter is linear measurement. Now from the next class, we are going to start the new chapter, third chapter. And the third chapter will be equal to compass surveying. Third chapter will be compass surveying. So the class will start as usual, same time, 9 p.m. So do join the class on the time, and we are going to start our new chapter. So everyone, please confirm whatever we have discussed is clear to everyone. No topic of the surveying is difficult. All the topics are very easy and very basic. So how was the linear measurement? Linear measurement was difficult or easy? Linear measurement was difficult or easy? So don't worry, easy. So you are also going to feel compass surveying also easy. And at the end you will feel overall surveying was easy. At the end you will feel overall surveying was easy. But do attend all the classes. Don't worry. So earlier, if you have not understood about the compass surveying, you are going to understand each and every concept of the compass surveying from the next class. Don't worry for that. So this was all about for this class. Thank you everyone. Keep learning.